Your brain has a system called the default mode network. It is what activates the moment your mind begins to drift. If your first thoughts in the morning are rooted in stress, your brain effectively locks into that emotional frequency. However, if you intentionally guide it toward calm, focus, and gratitude, you create what scientists call neural priming, a mental setup that makes positivity your brain's default mode. That is exactly what these next 5 minutes are for. The first minute begins the very second you open your eyes. Before touching your phone, and before letting your mind jump ahead to the day's work, just pause. Allow yourself to exist in that quiet, half-awake moment. Place one hand on your chest and breathe deeply. Inhale through your nose for 4 seconds. Hold for 4. Exhale for 4. As you breathe, whisper to yourself, "This is a new day. I get to start again." This phrase is incredibly powerful. It interrupts your brain's habit of replaying yesterday's stress and gently tells your nervous system, "We're not behind, we're beginning." The psychology behind this is simple. Deep breathing activates your vagus nerve, a direct line connecting your brain to your heart. When stimulated, it lowers cortisol, slows your pulse, and sends a quiet message to the body. You are safe to start fresh. Most people rush through this moment, but this single minute determines the mental tone of your entire day. Now that your mind is steady, it's time to shift your focus. Think of 3 specific things you are grateful for. Avoid the big things. Those are too easy. Instead, focus on details your senses can actually touch. The pattern of light through your window, the sound of boiling water, or the comfort of your blanket. Why small things? Because your brain doesn't fully believe vague gratitude. It believes what it can feel. This activates selective attention bias. In simple terms, your brain starts noticing more of what you practice focusing on. Each time you find one small joy, you reinforce that neural pathway. It's like training a camera lens to focus on clarity instead of chaos. Over time, this isn't just emotional, it's chemical. Your brain releases serotonin each time it recognizes gratitude. The more you practice, the easier it becomes. That is how optimism is built, not by ignoring pain, but by expanding what is visible beyond it. Next, we wake up the body because emotion lives in motion. Stand up, stretch, and roll your shoulders. Do 10 jumping jacks, 10 squats, or simply dance. For 30 seconds, do enough to get your blood flowing, but not to exhaust yourself. Why does this work? When you move, you release dopamine, endorphins, and norepinephrine, the trio responsible for motivation and mood regulation. Even a tiny increase in heart rate improves oxygen flow to your brain, which sharpens memory and concentration. It is impossible to stay emotionally flat while your body moves with energy. That is because your physiology shifts before your thoughts do. When you move first, your mind follows. So next time you feel mentally heavy, don't overthink, just move. It is the fastest route back to emotional balance. Now that you've reset your body and focus, ask yourself one small but powerful question. What is one thing I can do today to make life 1% better? Not 10 goals, not a 5-year plan, just one small, measurable step. This question shifts your brain from helplessness to agency. It activates the dopamine anticipation loop, the system that rewards you for progress rather than perfection. The reason it works so well is psychological. Our brains crave direction more than certainty. When you define a micro goal, you reduce mental noise and increase clarity, which lowers anxiety. Instead of waking up overwhelmed, you wake up with a clear signal. I am in control of what happens next. That 1% builds into unstoppable momentum over time. This final step is the glue that holds everything together. After completing the first 4, say out loud or break down, no matter what happens today, I choose to stay positive. This isn't blind optimism. It is emotional discipline. Positivity doesn't mean denying stress. It means deciding where your attention goes when stress appears. Each time you repeat your anchor, you reinforce self-affirmation circuits in the prefrontal cortex, the area of your brain that controls perspective. It also quiets activity in the amygdala, which is responsible for fear and reactivity. In simpler terms, this habit rewires how your mind returns to calm. You aren't avoiding chaos, you are learning to stay centered inside it. That is the kind of positivity that lasts beyond motivation. It becomes identity. Let's zoom out and see how this all connects. Each step trains a different part of your mind. The reset trains awareness. Gratitude trains perception. Movement trains energy. Reflection trains direction. The anchor trains stability. When repeated daily, they create a habit loop, a chain reaction where one small action automatically triggers the next. This is why consistency matters more than duration. You don't need an hour-long routine. You just need 5 intentional minutes that belong entirely to you. Within a week, you'll start noticing the shift. Less overthinking, faster recovery from stress, and a quiet kind of confidence. You can't control how your day starts, but you can control how you start your day. So take 5 minutes to breathe, move, and choose. Say it one last time. I choose positivity. Because when you start your day choosing joy, the rest of the day quietly follows. If this message helped you, share it with someone who might need a reset too. Positivity grows when we pass it on. If you love exploring the psychology behind human behavior, subscribe to Educated Wonder, where we don't just scroll through people's lives, we decode their minds.